everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking very briefly about how to buy a surfboard that's going to help you improve your surfing. Now I know there's a lot of information out there, there's a lot of options out there, and there are some common mistakes I see being made, and I think it's something that our industry really needs to answer for a little bit, in making sure that people buy the correct board to help them improve surfing and ultimately have more fun in the oceans. I want to start by talking about rail length, making sure you've got enough rail length in your surfboard so that you can catch waves really easily. It doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner or an elite level pro, anywhere along that line, a surfer should not be thinking that they won't catch every wave they want to catch. It is imperative. There is two parts of surfing: catching a wave and riding a wave. Under no circumstances any surfer of any level have doubts that they're going to catch the waves that they want to catch. So rail length is really going to help with that. So is parallelity in your outlines, making sure that that board is designed to take away as much sensitivities as possible when you're paddling, to ensure that you catch those waves, and when you get to your feet you've got lots and lots of control. Fin setups on the board. Now a good rule of thumb here is that the more fin you have in the board, the more aggressive you're going to need to be in order to control that board. The art of improving surfing is the ability to control your surfboard, and that's how, when you learn how to control your surfboard, you're going to get better and more radical at doing those maneuvers under your control. People that are really light-footed and don't have too much of an aggressive nature about their surfing and just want to learn how to cruise, less fin is better. A single fin is going to offer you the most sensitive board to turn, so you don't have to put too much effort in to start getting that board on rail and manoeuvring that board. But that can be too sensitive for someone who's really aggressive and really looking to sort of emulate more powerful surfing. They're going to need some more fin in their board to hold that aggression and to ultimately create tighter lines and arcs in their surfing that's going to help them improve along that sort of line. So a good rule of thumb: the more fin you've got, the more power you're going to need to control that surfboard and manoeuvre it and manipulate it to the places you want it to go. The things to look out for when buying a surfboard to help you improve are fake surfboards. Don't do it. The way you can spot these, if they're really cheap, it's probably too good to be true. These are boards that look like surfboards, but they're really just made in a surfboard factory that's done no research and development into what it takes to create a good surfboard to help people have fun in the ocean. So you might well be able to catch waves on them, but they might fall apart. They might be really hard to control when they're on their feet. They might not have the right rockers, bottom shapes that are going to really help you get better at surfing. They can almost become a hindrance. So yes, you've saved a bit of money, but what do you really have? What have you really got out of the deal? The other thing to look out for when you're buying a board to help improve your surfing is going too much volume. Yes, I said it. It makes a big difference. Having too much volume packed into a short, small object is going to create something that sits really high on the water, and it's going to be hard to penetrate that into the water to create the control you need to improve your surfing. As an example, we've all been on foamy surfboards. They're really hard to control because their rails are like this, and they're flat on the water and their fins are bendy, and nothing about a foamy says control, it just says stand up on me. And when you take that sort of thickness and then shorten the rail line, you even lose stability and the ability to paddle and go forward in a line. So be careful when you're trying to improve your surfing that you don't go something that's too short with too high volume. Those sorts of boards are better suited to experienced surfers looking for a novel approach to surfing, especially in smaller waves. They're not for getting better at surfing. Just because you say you ride a 510, if it's 57 litres, trust me, that's not going to help you learn to engage your rail and get more progressive in the lines you take when you surf. The other thing is make sure you don't buy something that's too sensitive for your ability, okay? Now, everyone's abilities are different, so whether that's their fitness ability or their natural surfing ability or how far they want to take their surfing, all of these things come into play when you're on a board. But just make sure, if you want to be a high performance surfer but you're not there yet, don't get a high performance surfboard. It's going to be too sensitive. It's not going to teach you how to ride it. It's going to give you lots and lots of bad habits and leave lots of frustration in your surfing, so that really you're not getting as much practice as you would had you rode a board with less sensitivities, because you're not on your feet for long enough to work those progressions out. So make sure that when you're buying a board to help improve your surfing, you don't ride a board that's too sensitive for you. So nothing with really narrow tail and narrow nose and loads of rocker and loads of concave, all of these design elements that are going to make the board sensitive for a better surfer. Don't do that to yourself. Don't frustrate yourself by having a board that's too sensitive. Now, the other thing is riding a board too short. We've already touched on the volume, too much volume, but also don't ride something too short. Rail length will always help you catch waves and keep stable. So go as big as possible in order to help get your surfing better. Don't go as small as possible, because you will end up, even if you do progress, your rate of progression, the curve of your progression will be slower than someone on a bigger board, and it will also, you'll end up having bad habits that will leak into your surfing that could create style issues and fundamental issues. I'm a case of that. I learned to surf on a board too short, and I don't rotate enough through my turns because I was so worried about falling off. So I'm quite stiff when I surf, so I wish I'd surfed on a longer board. Whereas if you watch my son, he's 10, he learned to surf on single fins and big long boards, and he's got a beautiful sweeping style, and it came from those longer boards. So make sure that you don't ride a board too short for you, to help maintain catching waves obviously, but then also to keep your stabilities and your fluidity in your surfing. And the other thing is, don't ride something too specific. When you're trying to improve your surfing, if you surf a board that's built for good waves, but you're going to surf small waves a lot of the time, then that board's going to hinder you in those small waves. If you buy a board and it's only suited for small waves, every time it gets sort of above shoulder high, you're going to have control issues on that board. So don't buy any boards too specific. There's lots of really, really good mid-range boards that can work in lots and lots of conditions out there that would suit your needs a lot better. So make sure that when you are buying a board, the design is very much catered for an all-round experience in lots and lots of different ways for lots and lots of different surfers. I hope that's helped. I have written a blog with more details on the design elements of the boards that you want to be looking for, and who sort of should ride them, and where your sizes are, where your sizes and your board size should sort of balance out on. So have a little read of the blog. It's on the Collab website. I will put links in the description. I hope this video helped. Comment if you want any more sort of information on this sort of stuff, buying surfboard stuff. I'm always happy to help. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.